Hi, welcome to Nav's Comics. So today I'm going to go over some pickups I got. Now these were courtesy of my friend Sam. She gave me a gift card for $25 to the comic shop. This gift card that she got for me was probably a year and a half ago. It was pre-COVID. She eventually then mailed it to me during COVID, and I've actually had it in hand for quite a while now. Mainly I go to the store. Maybe I don't get $25 worth. It's a weird gift card system. It's like this, not a poker chip, but something akin to that. But then they also have this policy where, if you spend under $10, you have to have cash. So I don't always have cash on me. So like if I went slightly over the 25, I'd have to have cash to, for the surplus, the whole thing. Anyway, I went to the shop and I'm ready to pay, and they're like $24.95. I'm like, oh, I have a gift card I will use for this. So that's what I did. So thank you very much, Sam. Now, first comic up here, X-Men #1. I didn't know if I had this variant on order. I do not. It looks like I ordered actually 3 copies of X-Men 1, but none of the variants. So I saw this on the shelf. I thought it looked really cool. This is the Sunfire variant cover by Peach Momoko. Now I know not everyone enjoys Peach's work. It's kind of hit or miss with me. But I feel lately it's been more hits than miss. And this one definitely, I was like, I love this one. So cover by, I will leave it there. As I put up the next one, here we have Skybound X, the Charlie Adler variant cover with Clementine on it. I did pre-order this. However, my comic shop was shorted. They didn't receive it. They were trying to get more, but I thought I'll pick it up locally and then cancel that. So, $5, sure. I mean, I think with shipping, probably would have come out to like $3.16 or $3.20 through my comic shop, but whatever. They weren't going to have it. I don't know. Like this, it's not like a big. I mean, it's the first time Clementine appears. I'm a big fan of the Walking Dead artwork, and so that's why I wanted this cover. All right, now Beyond the Breach. So this was recommended by some YouTubers. I'm trying to remember who it was. If it was the Comic Vet and Legion of Comics have a Two Hot Guys, Two Cool Picks show, and I feel like this was on there. And I've seen other people talk about it. Now, it's... so it's about this woman who's, and everyone's saying this because there's not much more to it. It's this woman whose husband had cheated on her with her sister while she was helping her sick mother or something like that. Yeah. There isn't a lot that actually happens in this comic, and it is somewhat interesting. But I guess, even the final panel looks cool. You don't know where it's really going, but it was all right. It was a fun little foray from reality into this weird, breached version of our reality with these creatures that are just on the attack immediately. So, it could go somewhere, but I don't know if I will continue it. I have a feeling that I'm probably not going to reach out to my shop and say, get me #2. But I'll be curious to see what other people say when it comes out. So Dark Blood. Now I feel like I've mentioned Comic Vet many times on my videos, and so this was another one that he recommended. Apparently, I'm not even mentioning the people's names. So this is written by Latoya Morgan, with artwork by Walt Barna and then ASG. I don't know what they are, but apparently the writer is someone that writes for AMC. So, there's some spec here where maybe it'll become a show. You never know. She is a writer that opted to make it a comic versus maybe pitching it as a show. Maybe she even did pitch it. So you never know. But it was enjoyable. So this one, and actually the next one as well, it deals with... So as a as a white guy, I understand white privilege. Like, I've... What this guy is experiencing, I've never experienced, and I'm sure that people to this day even experience something very similar in terms of very overt racism. I mean, we see the Karen videos, right? I mean, it's crazy. So that's like my exposure to it is the Karen videos. Anyway, so in the story, you have this man who there's like these flashbacks to him as a fighter pilot, which I don't really, and he's like ejected from the plane or the jet, whatever. And so that doesn't really, like, I don't know where that's going. And in the current day, he's essentially approached by this this man. He's followed by this man who he seems to recognize. Then that man is just being really, like, just overly racist. And it turns out he has a gun. And so there's not a lot that really happens. And my first kind of gut reaction was, and then he encounters another white man who then is equally racist. I mean, without a gun, but just super racist. And so it's a little bit like, when you're evil, it's just evil, right? But the thing is that people do experience this, and I have not, but people do, and I think I'm tempted to keep reading it. I don't know if it says, 1 of 6. So it's a mini series. Maybe I'll keep checking it out. Maybe I'll check out number 2 to see where that goes, and from there, decide whether I'm going to keep going or not. But I have a feeling that it's going to get good. I kind of have that feeling. What's that based on? Nothing. I mean, except the character has, I don't know what they, like, I don't want to spoil, I guess. I've talked a lot about it, but I don't feel like I really spoiled anything. But, the character has something about him that does seem really kind of cool. So, we shall see. Now, the last one, by Emilia Clarke, from Game of Thrones fame, Daenerys, and Marguerite Bennett, is who's an actual comic book writer. So Emilia Clarke worked with Bennett, and probably as well, I don't know how you pronounce this, Lila Lay, who would be the artist. Now, I actually, I heard some not so great reviews on it, but I really enjoyed this. And it's, when I said it was kind of similar to Dark Blood in that it starts off, she's at a party, and she's talking to you, the reader, constantly throughout. And so that's like, okay, whatever. But she's at this party where it's about like celebrating women in the workplace, and it's in the future, like 2047 or something. But everything about it is just treating women like crap. Like even the host makes this comment, like, I don't remember what it was, but, just makes a horrible cringe joke about the Me Too movement. Just things like that. Women being told to smile. So anyway, she's at this party, all these people are being misogynists, and it just made me think, like, while I'm not experiencing that, I'm hearing about that recently. Like Ubisoft, especially with the gaming companies, Blizzard, Activision, all these horrible stories coming out regards to sexual abuse and harassment and things of that nature. So yeah, it kind of, like, while at one point it feels like it's just these guys are jerks, but wow, like, that's what women face, right? Like it's just crazy. So I thought this story was pretty kind of cool. It was pretty cool. She has like a wide variety of powers based on her emotion. So that seemed pretty inventive, I guess. And then at one point she just like embraces who she is. Obviously she's a mother, so she has a child that's part of the story, and then has like a babysitter for the child who's part of the story. So yeah, not cheap. So this is a $5.99 book, but I believe it's 3 issues, and so I'm gonna pick up the other ones. Now, one like minor note: after like talking serious stuff about racism, which, by the way, like, that book drops the N-word. Like, that's, I don't know if I've ever seen that in a comic book. But then this book. But what I want to kind of point out. So when I'm buying the comics, right? So this corner, as I'm pointing out to you, it looks fine, right? It looks fine. However, like, I'm so used to, like, when I go buy a comic and they have, like, let's say 5 of these there. I'm gonna like look through them, see which one's which one's good, and almost never do I pick the one that's facing forward. Like I almost always grab one from behind. I kept grabbing from behind with this one, and that corner I just showed you like was kind of damaged on every one except for the front one, and so I was like, oh, I guess I'm getting the front one, which is just a for me, it's just kind of a weird thing. I almost always I'm just very anal about it. I grab not the front one but behind it. I usually too I do like to eye up the binding, I guess the binding, I don't know, the edge. Yeah, so anyway, that is it for my pickup. So thank you very much, Sam, for providing these to me. And then thank you, all of you, for watching. Really appreciate you being here. So if you could give me a thumbs up, a comment, I'll definitely respond. And then subscribe if you want to see more of my content. So I really appreciate it. All right. Have a good one. Bye.